And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. We're gonna let the town continue to go about its daily business. And really gotta decide what we want to expand next. Let's do a once over on our sort of loyalty and happiness, which is mainly the fulfillment of our people. So the Amevias, Amevias, Amevias? Well, it's those people. Those people that we're doing here, have various things that make them happy, and various things that technically make them unhappy. We're not large enough yet to have nobles, not large enough yet to have natives. Well, I suppose we could have tried doing natives already, but that's a bit slow. Our people are slow to procreate. They are happy that none of them are slaves. They're happy that they are the majority. And it looks like they're max happiness from having other slaves. Our people maybe don't like slaves. Yeah, these guys don't like slaves. So, from population, on this tab, there's a couple more things we could do to get them like us a little bit more, but we've got 4.5 out of 7 fulfillment on that screen. This one, they would like clothing, so there's maybe an argument that we should get the clothing industry going so they can have some clothes. They're not getting all the clothes they would require, and we may have hit the point where I don't have any clothes, right? So this may be getting worse over time. So it might make sense to fix that. None of them are starving. We have 100% from food preference, because they're basically eating food they want, which is fish. Every race prefers to eat certain foods. Each time a subject wants to eat, they'll randomly from among the preferred foods. So they've been eating nothing but the preferred foods, so they're happy. I don't need to provide eggs. I don't need to provide vegetables for them to get food preference. To get their food preference. Or actually, it sounds like that might actually be that I need to provide those. We've had those provided, so it's fine. They're picking from those 3. We're gonna run out of eggs, and this is probably gonna go down to like 66%, and then we're gonna run out of vegetables and do like 33%. Fine for the moment. We've got food days that caps out at 20, so we're actually maxed out on that. But yeah, so there's maybe an argument we can go for clothes. This short run, I might work on clothes. Look into what it takes for clothes. Well, we just improved a bunch of these. Anyway, so these are trending up. So market's probably going up. Hearth is probably going up. Stage probably isn't going up unless people are taking the time to go to see the stage. Environment, there's some stuff we can do. We can build statues. We can improve the distribution of torches. Do these guys like to be in the army? These guys might actually like to be in the army. So there's maybe some argument that we should put some of these guys in the army at some point. Now let's go scroll to the top. They got a road preference. I'm pretty sure it's not the dirt road. Is there an easy way to check these guys' dirt preference? They've got a preference. They like pools. Yeah, they have a road preference. It's not easy to check here. The pool preference is pretty easy to check here. They've got preference of 2 different types of pools. They don't just want canals. They specifically want pools for swimming in. They're happy with the climate. They don't have a problem with the other people in the city because they're all them. They don't like cannibalism, so they're happy that we're not eating people. They're happy there's no unburied corpses. They're not bothered by the noise yet. Although noise does piss them off. They would like more lighting, so if we could do more lighting, do more torches, they'd be happy with that. They like that we're reasonably close to the water. They like the humidity of the location. We could do with some statues, torches, army. Apparently they are happy that when our guys kill things, happy when their guys are skilled and chivalrous. They'd also be happy if we put more eggs in storage. So as the eggs roar off, they were rendered unhappy from the lack of eggs. Although they're over happy on fish because we're providing more fish than they need in storage. Religion, most of the people are of the religion we have a shrine to. And the longer you have that shrine, the more people convert to that religion. So basically everyone is that religion, with some minor exceptions. literally 15 people out of the 160 are not. And they are happy about the shrine. The shrine could be better. The shrine has 3 levels, so we're getting 33% of the bonus for having level 0, or the level 1, which is the level 0. They'd also appreciate the temple. Different religions don't mix, so they're happy that we're really focusing on one religion. Oh, and apparently these guys, other than having people buried, don't really care apparently about the burial. So we've got graveyards, and they just don't care. They're actually fine as long as people are being buried. They don't complain, and as long as we don't desecrate people, don't desecrate the burial. Work. They don't appear to be minding hard work. In fact, they prefer to have work, so they don't like being an odd jobber. Fulfillment is for working the right type of job. I'm probably planning on staying mono-racial for most of this run, unless people really egg me into adding a second race in. So this fulfillment is just something we're not going to care about, because it's going to be based on what we're doing. So they like fishing, so the people that fish are happy. Not everyone's fishing. Probably a good way to think about it. We don't have a retirement age. We could set a retirement age, in which case some amount of people would retire. Either that or have a retirement age set, and... Oh, actually, I technically have it. It auto-defaults at 25%. I could futz with it, raise the age or lower the age. No one's retired yet, so no one's happy about them retired. Our people don't like education, they prefer indoctrination. So we should indoctrinate them, not educate them. Okay. Of course, we have no universities for them to get educated in, so that's fine. No children to go to school. Government. Like certain tourists, dislike certain tourists. Would prefer us to be richer. Happy with equality. Not particularly happy about the law, so that is something we may need to fix in the future, is we may need to do some law, and they prefer imprisonment, judgment, and stalking. Not execution. Yeah, so the big action item I saw in there that might be worth acting upon right away is moving towards clothing. So I can turn fabric into clothes. I can turn leather into clothes. I have refining, so I could technically go convert cotton into fabric. We could also set up some hunting with the goal of them going out and collecting fabric, or collecting hides that we can then turn into fabric. Or turn into clothing, which I think is probably what we may do. That'll provide us some meat, which won't be ideal. Although our people will eat the meat. Or may eat the meat. They'll at least treat it as some food in the stockpile that they don't mind existing in the stockpile, let's just say. So we're going to let it stay out on a slow game speed. In theory, the hunters go off the map, so we'll put the hunting place somewhere close to the edge, like so. Okay, we're gonna have to make it a little bit bigger than that. One way or the other. Thinking. Otherwise, I don't think we can fit enough utilities in to make them optimal. Okay. So that should be big enough to do what they need to do. Get 10 hunters going. So we'll build that, and then we'll think about getting a clothier going running off of hides. Raptors. The flight of murderous exotic birds has descended upon your city. Luckily, they are too small to hunt your subjects, preferring to target vermin stealing from warehouses. Your citizens were enamored with these avians until it dawned on them that the vermin are far more ignoble when they're not being expelled at speed from atop onto their heads. If you act quickly enough, you might be able to get rid of these birds. They seem not to be used to your subjects and may be easy to trap. Since more and more subjects throw things at them in anger, that will not last. So right now they're providing a boost to fruit farms, which don't have grain farms, which don't have vegetable farms that we do have. It would reduce the decay rate of goods, but is having the health, or I can get rid of them. Okay. We killed them off because didn't necessarily want the health debuff because we don't have any, you know, we don't have any medical facilities in town to deal with sickness. And we already have one sick person, we don't need more sick people. Okay, you need furniture, which we apparently don't have. I suppose at the same time, I can get an approximation on how much the hunters are. Or can I? No, I can't until the building's done. No. Okay, so we just gotta wait until the furniture gets made. I could temporarily assign more people to the carpenter to get it done faster. So the other thing to do is to start the clothier construction. Yeah, let's start the clothier construction. Or not the clothier, the tailor. Excuse me. So I don't necessarily want a particularly big tailor. So if we think about, like, sticking it here, that way we're not encroaching too much on that space. So apparently it needs a... I think it needs a storage. Probably only needs the one storage. Okay, bit of a tight one, but it should be accessible to them. Provide 13 employees worth of jobs. A bit of an odd number, actually. Let's redesign that so this only supports, like, 10. Is that the 5? That is the 5, okay. There's an argument that it can be a little bit smaller, I suppose, is what we're developing here. Yeah, so we'll do that instead. Door there, door there. Go there. Probably good enough. Again, needs furniture. Yeah, between those two, we should be able to figure out how much clothing we need. And yeah, let's for the short term. We've got full max stockpile on the wood. Let's turn this up to 10, and then we'll pull these workers back from the furniture maker to go work the tailor and the hunters. Settings. I don't have... Put a crate for that. Do I have clothing on here? I don't have clothing on here yet. There's the clothing. We already had leather. And we already have fabric, okay. So it's clothing I was missing and cotton. Okay. Now we can track how much is in storage. And then I think it is time just to say the rest of the crates here are going to go to fish. And then if we need more storage for anything else, we need to build new storage. So you're missing 5 furniture, you're missing 17 furniture, or 12 furniture. So I suppose actually I could have had one of them done if I had not queued the second one up before the first one finished, but... Should be done in 2 or 3 in-game days. Yeah, both of those employ 10. I don't think we want both of them at full employment the moment they build. A little bit more on board with having the hunter at 10. We can float a little bit of clothing, a little bit leather, to make in the clothing later. Okay, so we've got... Okay, so it is being built. Yeah, it's being shipped. Oh, and we're out of stone. I need to also queue up some stone for harvesting. Clear rock. Like rock respawns or something in small amounts. Or maybe I'm just misreading the map a bit. Probably doesn't respawn. I'm probably just misreading the map. Okay, so that'll probably be more stone than we need to find. Get your project's done. So you're being constructed. This isn't all free workers at the moment to build you. Yep, let's turn down the carpenters by 5. Oh, and I can change the recipe here. Very useful. I don't really need the meat, but I need the leather. So we can get 10 people working on leather, so it should make just short of 15 leather. Two janitors there, 3 janitors here for whatever reason. Okay, so right now our recipe eats 4 leather to make 3 coats per worker. We only make just short of 15 leather, so we only want 3 workers here for the month. There we go. Okay, we're now back at the point where it is expand the population. So we have people to work more jobs. Expand the road network first a little bit. And then, yeah, we probably want to build a little bit of housing, another thing of food stalls. And then I'll provide housing for another 20 people. And then at which point we should start maybe thinking about training ground. Although apparently Prontix. Ah, okay, so there's a title level or then we haven't hit the title level yet. That happens to be 200 people. So yeah, once we get those 200 people in, we maybe should be thinking about having some standing army. Fair enough. I'm thinking ahead to exactly what the game is going to have me think ahead to. Oh, the other production's up. Oh, because it's there's a luck effect on it. Plus or minus some from luck. Okay. Yeah, 16 is probably where we'd be able to do, like, 4 guys working leather, but close enough. So in late summer, we'll harvest the vegetables here. All the art jobbers will descend and harvest a bunch of vegetables, which is probably more labor efficient than the vegetable farm. Yeah, so people in theory are adequately feeding themselves from the vegetable farm, but they're not particularly great at farming it. Temperature's rising extreme levels today. That's fine. We're pretty close to the river. Why is your consumption down? Oh, because they're just not being very efficient. Yeah, so they should consume 9 if they're being adequately efficient to do it. We've only got 5 construction workers, so they're not going to be the fastest thing in the world. And they're going to probably get distracted a little bit by the harvest, which has come up. Forage harvest. Collect the veg. most of which promptly finds its way to the food stalls for people to eat. I could technically let people move in before their houses are built, and then effectively have them build their own houses, but taking the slow road here. Okay, there we're making more clothes than people need to wear. Although we might have a little bit of a clothing deficit to fix first. Okay, there we are. Let's let the next 20 or let 40 move in. So I'm gonna set you to 200. In fact, we've got more than 200 ready to move in. We'll authorize 40 of them just moving in right now. Okay, so I think that's time to go ahead and get some more fishing going. Oh, make this a real big fishery. New level has been bestowed upon your name. Frontix. This is going to allow us to do stockades, army supply depot, training ground. Also provide a little bit more innovation and knowledge. So much like I made a comment at the beginning, or at the first part, what should I spend innovation on? Give me an idea of what you'd like to see me direct the knowledge towards. I'll take a moment after I'm done building this fishery to go look at the knowledge options. But first let me get this fishery done. So this fishery... Well, actually, due to how close we are to the coastline, or how close in the coastline here, is very big. But it's not actually a lot of fish area. It's only 9 fishermen. We're still going to fish it. Yeah, we don't need most of this land. I just need enough land to connect the fishery all to one area and to shove the storage and auxiliaries onto. Did I cut one of the bits off by accident? Yes. There we go. We don't need a lot of storage usually here. I'd rather get delivered to proper long-term storage than hang around on the fish site. Yeah, that jagged little fishery, workspace for 9 fishermen. Yeah. So look at that building. Do you want to continue on the line of making more fish? Yes, I probably want to do like another 10 fish. We can get another 10 fish. Oh, and this is not a very good fishery area because there's not a lot of water here relative to the deep sea access. But it's gonna be working. It's gonna be fine. Black treachery. Okay, so that's our range. It is contiguous, so we should be able to just slap a storage in somewhere in here. And I need to slap enough auxiliaries in. There we go. Left for 6 more workers. And yeah, at some point I'll probably be better off going over there. Although at some point we'll fish everything over here. Next thing I probably need is a janitor. So we'll go ahead and first we'll take a look at the range, right? So it's reaching out to there, so we actually might want to like over there. Is that ore I'm seeing? No. Just a bunch of rocks. Although, when we need rocks, that'll be fine. We'll want to mine that. Okay, let's just copy this one. And we'll plop the copy, say, here. And we'll let that get built. And then we'll be looking into probably building the training ground, so we can get like 10 guys training. We'll probably overbuild it intentionally, but we'll put like 10 people to work in it immediately. Clear the site, delivering the wood. Clear the site, in theory, delivering the wood. All the wood's there delivered. We got like 43 workers, so they can definitely work. Oh, that's cool. Fishermen can go out into the deep water, those little boats. Is that fishery? And the janitor's done, so we can see its coverage area. So you're covering, you're covering, okay. I'm surprised it's auto-assign 3, although it may have assigned 3 because we had a bit that wasn't covered by the previous one that might need a bunch of repairs. Workload is apparently low. Not sure if I trust that. I mean, it's a realistic problem. We now have enough people in the fishing industry that the fishermen are now getting 0.04 to fishing. If you look at how many fishermen we have, yeah, we got 92. So collectively, they're feeding what? 4 times that. It's going to be like 3.6. I'm feeding like 7 more people than they normally would otherwise, without the experience. So numbers is adding up. Yeah, so the next thing we want to build is probably our training ground. Oh, that works real well. I can get 20 in there, like so. Can even get symmetric with 4 doors. Nice. Foundations aren't perfect, but the foundations aren't perfect in a lot of the city, to be fair. We can take 27 furniture. We got 27 or 29 furniture, so that's not gonna be a problem. Again, I'm gonna have to tell them not to. Well, this one I have to make a unit, I believe, and tell them what they equip, what training to do. I think I'm gonna set like 10 people to like perpetually train. Then we'll have to get probably another carpenter going to make makeshift weapons. Although, the decision on whether we're using spears, well, what makeshift equipment we're doing, it will probably be done at the beginning of next part. I'll give time for YouTube to respond for what to spend on the innovations, or what to prioritize the innovation. Okay, here we had enough furniture. There we go. Get it built quickly. Yep, it's not quite done. It became nighttime, so I went to go sleep. There we go. We got a training ground. Which is immediately going up to 10. No. Like 10 right now? Maybe? Oh no. Allow 20 to train. Don't. Okay, that's how it's gonna work. Fair enough. Actual employees, target employees, when you set the target. Okay. How do I do military? That's what we're gonna figure out right now. Military. Is that tab? Those are the raiders. It's hopefully no more gonna face. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I want like 10 people to train for the moment. How do I form... There we go. That's the page we're looking for, I think. So currently we have 200 units worth of division, but we don't need this many. Yes. Disband the divisions, because we want like 1 unit of like 10 spear guys, please. Okay. Create 1. Edit. Target is 10. For the moment, their one and only job is get really good at melee training. I've got no equipment to give them, so just get them wrestling. When we decide what equipment we're gonna get, and I'm leaning towards spears. I'm thinking pointy sticks. Right, we can go make some pointy sticks. And we can equip these guys with pointy sticks to go poke things. Right, so for the moment, this is what we're thinking of. Max train them to defense, force, morale, stamina, offense, formation, and then we'll give them a bunch of pointy sticks so they get bonus formation, bonus pierce damage. And then we'll have to work out some armor and stuff. The flip side is maybe if you're watching on Twitch and you have a suggestion on what weapons to use, and you tell me, I might do that. Or if YouTube comes up with some suggestions, we may follow YouTube suggestions. But kind of the plan is to do something like that, which is maximum pointy stick, and probably whatever armor we can get. It'll probably be leather, so just like that would be the perfect early thing, which is give them full armor, full training, full pointy stick, and they'll be a really tiny unit, but at least hopefully they'll poke the guys down before they die. Of course, right now we can't afford the armor because all the leather's going to clothes. We haven't picked up makeshift weapons, so we can't make spears yet. So this is what they're going to be. Just train as much as you can, which is going to take a lot of time to do, but it's going to take them 110 days to be ready to this level. So, not anytime soon, but we'll get them training. Get those 10 guys training. Yeah, right now the carpenter... Okay, so the carpenter could actually make... Oh, it could make spears out of metal. I don't have metal. And it can make shields out of wood and leather. If we were desperate to make some shields. And then the tailor... We could tell the tailor to swap from what it's doing right now to make armor if we were desperate for some armor. Either way, I probably need more warehousing. Temperature rising to extreme level today. Okay, well everyone lives pretty close to the river right now, so that shouldn't be a problem, hopefully. I'm thinking about a storage over here. So the main thing this is going to be storing for is leather coming in off the hunter and fish. So it doesn't need to be a very big storage. Oop. Does not want more than 2 doors. Fair enough. I might allow it to store a little bit of wood and a little bit of stone as well. We'll do furniture and cloth. Furniture, cloth, stone, wood. The logic being, furniture cloth will be for the fishery upgrades. That's not cloth. Cloth, furniture, stone, wood for the janitor. Leather, because we're going to get that coming in from the hunter there. And fish. So we can have a little bit more fish storage. Some local fish storage, too, should help. And then we'll put one person as a delivery man. Yeah, we got nice, happy people. In fact, we've got so many that we can immediately receive 40 more immigrants if we wanted them. Thinking, let's go ahead and do a Control Shift to copy you. I put you over by the other janitor over here. Because it's not a terrible design for just having stuff for fishing and fixing. The only thing I need to do is probably pull the leather off and just do more food storage there. Okay. And yeah, kept all the settings. I'm going to turn the leather off because I don't think we need it there. Needs iron to improve the laboratory. Tailor is stone and iron. It's probably going to be most of the cases for improvements, right? It's going to be some more improved gear. Pots, that's not too hard to do. We're not going to do that right now. Advanced carpenter's more iron. I could, if we were like looking for, like we had the iron, I could swap over to spears, or if we had excess leather, I could swap over to the shields to get that being produced. What I'm thinking would probably be what we do is maybe get a warehouse for like weapons down here, and then build a carpenter that's sole job is to swap back and forth between the weapons. Weapon shield, and then probably do the same sort of thing with the tailor. We actually have built up quite a bit of clothes. Thinking about it, if we build up that much clothes, I think we're good for a couple seasons. Swap over to making armor. The difficulty with that, of course, is I have no storage for them. The workaround is I've actually added wood storage elsewhere. So we'll turn this wood storage down, and we'll turn up, we'll add armor storage for the moment. Some other armor storage, that we can get some leather armor coming in. 5% decay on the leather armor, 5% on the clothes, so... The fact that we have enough clothes for everyone is actually a good sign. I was worried, well, I wasn't exactly worried, I just knew we were out of clothes. So now our people are happily clothed. Well, the ones who remember to go pick it up are happily clothed. I could technically assign them to pick up more clothing, which would make them happier. They can equip up to 6. Presumably, I think with diminishing returns on the approval, or the fulfillment from it. Although it provides bonuses as you up it, increase it. Oh, the clothing makers aren't, at least when it comes to making that, not super fast. We've only got 3 working, so they should be working a little bit better than that, but... Yeah, we can get them with, well, actually, this is another thing. Shields take up a hand. So I think we can only run... I don't think we can run spear and shield. Might be wrong about that. let's do a quick pause and let's see if we can. If I equip you with this, can I equip you with this? Yes. Okay, so we could, for example, just say shield and spear. And you can see the big effect that's having on force block. Although how valuable force block is probably depends on what you're fighting. And then the spear is very good on formation buffing. Presumably also pretty good on damage. Pierce damage, yeah. But yeah, to fully equip our guys with like maximum armor, leather armor right now is going to take like 50 sets of armor, so it's not a trivial thing to do. And it's probably coming time to expand the population again. I suppose one opportunity for improving fishing would be to build some sort of bridge across. So are people getting across a little bit easier? Let's contemplate doing that. Can I build a bridge? Well, build a road, which is effectively build a bridge. Such that it doesn't damage my thing. Run, like, say, there. And then there. Yeah, that looks like that'll work. That'll allow for commuting across the body of water a little bit easier. And yes, our people will have to swim to get to the bridge to swim. They just don't have to swim the deep water doing that. Yeah, that gets us to some of the access to some of the better fishing areas across the way, and the big island in the middle here. Although, if I remember correctly, what was it? It was coal is in the water here. So, I suppose if we were desperate for coal, we probably wouldn't want a fishery there. Although with how small that is, yeah, with how small that is, I'm not sure we actually want... to actually harvest that coal. It's pretty small deposit. All the deposits here are going to be pretty terrible. So there may be stone for maintenance purposes. I think most of them we're not going to leave alone, except for maybe the clay. We'll probably use the clay. But yeah, we're probably not going to dig up that bit for coal. We'll probably have to do charcoal burning if we want charcoal. Yeah, we've got a nice, quick little bridge there. And we got our 20 days of food, so we don't necessarily need to increase food production right now. Right now, yeah, right now in theory our food stockpile is increasing because consumed minus decay, or consumed plus decay is less than fisheries produce. So food should in theory be going up. Maybe not very fast, but quickly enough. Yeah, I think we're probably at the point where if I were to continue expanding during tonight's stream, probably build another 20 housing worth of people. We probably probably build a second carpenter to do shields and spears or something. Cycle it back and forth between those two. Some sort of makeshift weapon and shields. And we'll probably do shields when we're doing the leather armor, and when the clothing is low, we swap back to the weapons, right? And then maybe try to get some trade going. Or do some conquest or something like that. We don't yet have the embassy. Rocknex, tourism. Tech library. Okay, so we get these by teching, which I haven't done. And then admin. 3,500 employees, so real way off. Oh, I could do stockade. Thinking about it, we should get some law and order, I suppose. How big is this? Could I just shove this in up here? Oh, that would hold exactly like one person. Maybe not go that small. That's a bit small. Or do I have to tech? Oh, I have to decide what, so stockade I don't think is where we keep them. I think stockade is where is prison. Or jail? I always forget which one's which. Pretty common thing for people to get confused, to be fair. One is where you keep them stored, one is where you send them if you're punishing them. Finish along. Yeah, so we probably don't need stockades until we're actually going to try to punish people. I need to decide what our punishment will be to research the punishment. I was thinking stockade is the stocks, which is a little different. Yeah, let's go look at the text before we bring the stream to close. So we now have some knowledge. So if there is things you'd recommend me picking up with knowledge, feel free to let me know. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to have recorded the next section. Watching this now on YouTube, I'm going to have probably recorded the next section by the time you're suggesting this. But feel free to let me know, because I may be bumbling around and pick the wrong things. Just, I won't be able to respond to you for, or won't be able to act upon it for the next 4 hours of gameplay. Because the next stream, which will be another 4 hours, will have been recorded already. Organization allows us to build more powerful regional centers. Rural health. So if we wanted physician health care... Oh, this is domain. So this is all the domain empire stuff. So if we're out conquering the world, that's the stuff we'd be wanting. That's knowledge. And all its upgrades. We could pick up guards. That's probably a thing that would be reasonable to take with knowledge. Pick up slavery. Maybe a little bit less reasonable. We could spend some of those innovation points we have on the library so we could get more knowledge. We could pick up the that's the upgrade to the embassy, which is not worth doing right now. Work safety, we can make people be safer. Right now, this isn't going to actually make anyone safer. Although it's not very expensive. Advertisements, so that's okay. Secret police, bonus to the lawfulness. Knowledge can be improved on improving the lab. Or improving the library. I don't have enough... Oh, I need more than 200 people to have executions. Although we'll probably have that soon. Same thing with prisons. Actually having the court system for a trial, you know, that requires 500 people. Stocks are 200 people. So yeah, we can get some punishments going. We'll just basically say, hey, if you got caught, you're going to the stocks or something. That's probably what we do. We do like stocks or prisons or something. It's the immediate punishment. Tree specialists is knowledge, whereas basic orchards is innovation. Industrial farming is knowledge, whereas basic farming is innovation. Okay. Refining is almost all innovation, except for expert woodcutters. So woodcutting, advanced woodcutting. And that's when it goes to knowledge, okay. High mining. Okay, so if we wanted the smithy to run the falcata, the swords, or the plate armor, that's knowledge. We've got 10 points of knowledge that we can spend. So in theory I could go smithy, sword, basically. Not sure that's what we're going to do. We're more likely to do, I think, makeshift weapons. Unless people really want us to go swords, in which case we'll have to figure out how to get the metal and stuff to make the swords out of. If you had 100 knowledge, we could do expert fisherman, get a lot. Effectiveness fish, that'd be 8 more people productivity. If I could get a lot of people value. We could potentially expand fishing without expanding fishing by doing innovativeness expenditures. Fortifications. Not sure we really want to fortify. Defense techniques. Okay, we have enough people that we could do this. Workers affecting the industries. Not sure if that math is working right. So we have a duration until a person is trained. I think this makes them train 10% faster. So the bottom bit of that math there, I don't think is working right. Because in theory, I think this should be worth like 1 person. Granted, it's costing 10 persons worth of innovation, so it's not worth doing. But yeah, I don't think the math is working quite right. Should be worth like 1, but it's saying it's worth 0. Yeah, so I'm going through the thing. Suppose I'd pick up statues. That makes some people happy. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you suggest. If you're watching on Twitch, I think this is where we're going to go ahead and bring the stream to a close. So if you've got suggestions, you're currently watching on Twitch, now is probably the time to leave them. But if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you have been enjoying. There will be probably another part up tomorrow, unless something comes up. And honestly, if there's something does come up, there probably will be a part up tomorrow, because I probably will just move things around. I got enough space and slop in the schedule that I should be able to get it done in time. If you're watching on... Yeah, let me play the game enough that we can actually get some audio. It's being a bit quiet. There we go. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on YouTube, there should be a part up tomorrow. Hope you've been enjoying the run. Sorry because of how the streaming schedule goes, that comments that you leave are likely to not get responded to live on, or in the video for 4 hours or so, 4 parts. Feel free to still leave comments. I'm not a master at Songs of Six, so if you have suggestions on what I can do better, or do differently, or do interestingly at least, let me know. The upcoming schedule is that tomorrow's going to be Whiskerwood. I feel like we're getting close to the end of Whiskerwood. I think the plan right now is to replace that with Subnautica's Sub-Zero. Because after we did Subnautica, someone asked if I would do Sub-Zero. I did end up picking it up over winter vacation, so it's going to be in the schedule. But that'll be after Whiskerwood. We're not done with Whiskerwood yet. So tomorrow is going to be Whiskerwood. Victoria 3 is going to be Thursday. We may finish up the Ching. We only have like 30 years left, but the game gets a bit slow near the end, so I wouldn't be surprised if we only do 20 of the 30 years left and they'll have to go for another stream. If it does go for another stream, I think we're going to be around about when Terra Invicta is going to be ready to start up. I think the poll for Terra Invicta should be done by then. We're going to do Whiskerwood tomorrow, Whiskerwood tomorrow, Victoria 3 the day after tomorrow. I think we're going to finish Humankind up on Friday. I think the plan is to replace that with Darkest Dungeon, but I don't think we're necessarily going to get done in Humankind on Friday. Get done early enough on Friday. We've got all of the modern era to go through. Contemporary era. However you call it. So, Whiskerwood tomorrow, Victoria 3 the day after tomorrow, Humankind the day after tomorrow. So Friday. We'll be back to play this on Saturday, so 4 days from now. So if you're watching this on YouTube, that should be 2 days ago. I'll try to put a comment in the first part of the 3 parts, recommending what people should make suggestions about when it goes live, so that people who know what they would be interested in can at least get to comment on it. But yeah, over the next 4 days, will be Whiskerwood, Victoria 3, Humankind, Songs of Six. Terra Invicta is going to replace Victoria 3 if it finishes early. Probably isn't. Darkest Dungeon is going to replace Humankind if it finishes early. Probably isn't. Whiskerwood is going to get replaced as Subnautica over the upcoming schedule. This game, which is Songs of Six, is probably going to get replaced with Shadow Empire, but it's not going to get replaced until I'm done preparing the overview on units, which requires a lot of legwork, which I haven't started. But we'll go back to the Shadow Empire after that. And we'll see how far we get in Songs of Six in that time. It's a city builder, it doesn't necessarily have an end, so the game is either going to end if we lose or run out of fun things to do, which is why I'm putting a sort of a soft end to it, which is I want to have something else I want to get done in the meantime. So yeah, Whiskerwood tomorrow, Victoria 3 the day after it, Humankind the day after that, Song 6 is the day after that, at which point we cycle back around to Whiskerwood if it hasn't been finished. After that, cycle around to Victoria 3 if it hasn't been finished. After that, cycle around to Humankind, which probably at that point, Humankind I think is close enough that it's probably going to take the entire stream, but I might be wrong. So that'll probably be Darkest Dungeon on next Tuesday. And then next Wednesday is probably Songs of Six. So that's approximately the next 7 days, 8 days. Yeah, next 8 days is going to be that schedule. As is usual, 4-day, 4-part, 4-stream schedule. Just we're at the point with a lot of the runs where the run is coming to an end and the next game may come in. And the next game is going to come in, much like today, where we finish Shadow Empire. It may come in the middle of a stream, which is what happened here with Shadow Empire and Songs of Six. We finished midstream. In fact, finished like part 1.5 in a 4-part stream, which is why I'm recorded effectively 5 parts today. I'm going to overlap the first part of Songs of Six and the last part of Shadow Empire in the schedule. So I hope everyone has been enjoying. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to leave comments. Twitch, I can try to respond to live. YouTube, I will probably try to respond to you within the first 24 hours. Just, obviously, that might not result in anything happening in a video for 3 to 4 days because of how the scheduling and the recording line up. With that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.